June 1986. A young basketball star from Washington is drafted second overall in the NBA. 2 days later, he is supposed to sign a $2 million contract with Reebok. That evening, he goes to a party with his team. A few hours later, he is dead. The official cause: heart failure after a cocaine overdose. That death was not just a tragedy. It became a symbol. Because by the mid-1980s, cocaine had already spread through American elite culture like poison dressed up as luxury. Athletes, businessmen, celebrities, politicians, everybody knew it was there. Most of them just looked away. And while America was pretending not to notice, one man in Colombia was building a machine that would turn that silence into billions of dollars. His name was Pablo Escobar. To some people, he was a monster. To others, he was a hero. To the poor residents of Medellín, he looked like a man who gave them houses, money, sports fields, and attention when the state gave them nothing. To his enemies, he was a terrorist who ordered bombings, assassinations, and mass murder. Pablo was born in 1949 near Medellín, in a poor family, in a country already breaking apart. Colombia in the 20th century was shaped by violence, corruption, civil conflict, weak institutions, and deep class division. The state was often too weak to control its own territory. Why? In that kind of environment, black markets don't just survive, they grow. As a teenager, Pablo started with small crime: stolen tombstones, car theft, extortion. Then came more serious activity. He learned something very early. In a broken system, fear can be more useful than talent. By his 20s, he had already crossed the line into serious violence: kidnapping, murder, intimidation. And what made him dangerous was not only that he was brutal, it was that he was bold enough to turn crime into a public identity. Escobar understood something simple but powerful. If the state cannot protect people, someone else will offer protection. If the government ignores the poor, someone else will buy loyalty. If people have no future, they will follow the man who gives them one. That is how he became more than a gangster. He became a brand. At first, he was not even involved in cocaine at the highest level. He was moving smaller goods, building contacts, learning the logistics of illegal trade. But once he saw what cocaine could become, he recognized the opportunity immediately. At the time, cocaine was still treated as an elite product. It was expensive, fashionable, and highly profitable. And the American market was hungry. So Escobar did what great criminals and great entrepreneurs often do. He stopped thinking like a middleman and started thinking like an owner. He moved from merely transporting product to controlling the whole chain: production, processing, transport, distribution, profit. He built labs in the Colombian jungle, turning remote areas into industrial criminal infrastructure. He organized routes by plane, boat, and hidden land paths. He used islands, airstrips, and corruption to keep the product flowing into the United States. When one route became dangerous, he found enough. When the state blocked one method, he invented a new one. This is where the scale becomes shocking. His operation was no longer a gang with a few sellers. It was a business system, a network, a machine that could move from the jungle to Miami with terrifying efficiency. That is why the Medellín Cartel became so powerful. It was not just about violence. It was about organization. Different people handled different functions. Some managed finance. Some handled logistics. Some controlled enforcement. Some managed local distribution. It looked less like a street gang and more like a corporation with a criminal purpose. And at the center of it all was Escobar's genius for combining business logic with terror. If someone cooperated, they could get rich. If someone resisted, they could disappear. If the state moved against him, he could respond with bombs. His enforcers came from the poorest neighborhoods. Young men, often teenagers, were recruited with money, status, and a sense of belonging. Some became drivers. Some became lookouts. Some became killers. The cartel offered them something the state never did: identity. And that is one of the darkest truths about Escobar's empire. He did not just exploit poverty, he weaponized it. He turned social abandonment into a recruitment and tool. At the same time, he was building his public image. He funded housing. He supported football. He donated money. He presented himself as a man of the people. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, his influence had exploded. The cartel dominated a huge share of the cocaine flowing into the United States. The money was absurd. The violence was constant. The corruption spread everywhere. Escobar wasn't just buying politicians. He was shaping political reality. He entered public life, pushed his own agenda, and tried to use legitimacy as a shield. He wanted the power of a businessman and the immunity of a politician. But that strategy eventually failed. The more visible he became, the more dangerous he became. And once the state truly turned against him, the image of the benevolent Robin Hood began to collapse. The turning point came when Colombia and the United States started treating the cartel as a direct threat. Extradition became a major issue. The United States wanted cartel leaders sent there to face justice. Escobar fought that idea fiercely because he understood exactly what it meant. If he lost control of the legal battlefield, he could lose everything. So he responded the only way he knew how, with violence, bombings, assassinations, fear campaigns, political murder. He moved from criminal empire builder to full-scale narco-terrorist. The old version of Escobar, the man who gave houses and food, was still in the public memory. But a new version emerged, a man willing to destroy an entire society to protect his business. And then the war became personal. The cartel's violence reached the people around him. The state struck back. Rival cartels attacked. The pressure mounted from every direction. Law enforcement, competitors, political enemies, even his own allies became unreliable. At one point, Escobar agreed to surrender under special conditions and even ended up in a prison built to his own standards. That alone tells you how deeply he had penetrated the system. He was still powerful enough to negotiate the shape of his own imprisonment. But even that did not solve the problem. Inside the prison, he still tried to run his empire. Outside, the violence continued, and the state eventually realized that this arrangement could not last. So the hunt intensified. Escobar escaped. He went into hiding. For more than a year, he lived under constant pressure, always being tracked, always moving, always under threat. The man who once controlled millions through fear was now the one being hunted. Then, in December 1993, it ended. Police found him in Medellín. He tried to run to the roof. A sniper shot him dead. The age of Pablo Escobar was over. And yet the story did not end with his death. Because Escobar left behind more than bodies and fear. He left behind a myth. To this day, some people remember him as a clever businessman, a rich rebel, a Robin Hood figure. But that version hides the real scale of what he did. He was a narco-trafficker, a terrorist, a man whose empire was built on addiction, corruption, and blood. He understood business, yes, but he used that intelligence to destroy lives on an enormous scale. That is the real lesson of Pablo Escobar. Power without limits doesn't make a genius. It creates monster.